You are now listening to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Insight AFL show. The regular season is done, and we're into finals for your classic matchup. We're already into week 2 of our draft league matchups, but I am the horse, and joining me this evening is the great man, Hurls. How you doing, mate?
I'm really good, mate. Looking forward to tonight. It's been probably SuperCoach tapers off a little bit after the buys to probably this week, where everyone's been waiting for finals to come around. So hopefully everyone out there is in their league finals and trying to maximize the cash off their relatives and friends, and has been listening to us for a while, and it's helped them out. So stealing the money off the friends is always a good thing.
100%. And we heard on social media, was it earlier today or late last night, that SuperCoach are bringing in an old favourite to SuperCoach AFL. Do you know much about that?
I did see that. There was some whispers early in the week, and I think they've now confirmed that they're going to bring back SuperCoach finals. So my understanding, when they used to have it, it's probably about, I think it's at least 5 years since that's been around. It's like a game day kind of setup, but for the rounds of the finals. So you'll go for, like, the first week you have to pick players from those 8 teams. There'll be a salary cap still, and you'll have a certain amount you can spend, and you pick players just from those 8 teams. And then in week 2, you pick from the 4 teams that are playing, and week 3, you pick from the 4 teams, etc. And then you accumulate your points over the 4 weeks of the final. So it's a little different to our usual classic, but it's something to keep us interested, I guess, into SuperCoach as the season's done, and we're watching finals instead of regular season.
I bet you Deadly can't wait to finish 50,000th in that as well.
he might pick some blokes that haven't even been put on lists yet.
Yeah, Campbell Chesser with the C, no doubt. But what we've done tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Hurls has gone to a little bit of extra effort with our previews that we're doing for the games that are happening this round, in that we're going to go through a couple of dot points. So players that we think you should target from each team, but he's also gone into the run that they're going to have with their respective games on the run home. So with our first game, Western Bulldogs versus GWS, for example, we can say that, yeah, Bontempelli is a good pickup this week, but then we can go, well, after that, he's got Melbourne, West Coast and Freo, which is a very, very favourable matchup for the Western Bulldogs in the run home, mate.
Yeah, it is. And you look at it's funny, when I was going through this year, I wanted to put like away or home, because you could tell, where a team's playing. Interestingly, the Melbourne game away is at Marvel as well. So Bulldogs don't leave Marvel. They're laughing for the rest of the year. So any Bulldogs players, and they're very popular. Let's be honest, most people have Bont. Some people have Darcy. Probably half the guys out there have Darcy. You've got Ed Richards is popular. Kennedy might be getting a bit more popular with a few forward injuries. Daly Bale, as we like to say here at Insight, he might be popular. And Marvel suits all of these guys beautifully. So, we wouldn't talk you out of any Western Bulldogs blokes with that run and where they're playing as well.
No, 100%, mate. I think they're a good target. But before we get into tonight's games, let's throw it to the great man. He's going to be bringing us our show tonight. It's Strommy from Stromcrete for all your landscaping and concreting needs. If you're in the Central Victoria area, hit up the great man. Use the promo code INSIGHT for 10% off your job or whatever it is that you may need done. So heard from the great man today, and he's got a bit of business out of us. So very happy to hear that for him. But we're going to get stuck straight into the Dogs and GWS. It's almost like, for the Dogs, it's an elimination match for each game that they've got on the run home now. Between, say, 3rd and 10th, it's very close still, Hurls.
Yeah, it is. And it's really interesting for the Dogs, because they've got probably the best percentage. I haven't got the stats in front of me, but they've got a really favourable percentage against the teams above them. But they're now 2 games behind everyone else except for Gold Coast, who have that game in hand. So it almost is a 2-game gap that they have to make up in 4 weeks. So they can't be dropping any of these. If they drop this to GWS, automatically GWS go 3 games clear of them. Gold Coast, you would imagine, win this week, and they've got the game in hand. It's just going to get really tough for them if they happen to drop this one. But if they win this one, it puts them in a really good position because of that percentage that they've got up on their opponents.
100%, mate. So with the players that the SuperCoach community should be targeting, you brought up a couple from the Western Bulldogs, your Bontempellis. If you don't have him yet, he might be starting to get a bit exy, but your Kennedys, your Liberatores, like Libber's done a really good job this year in keeping relatively healthy. Tim English, if you want to get spicy. But from a GWS point of view, your Lockie Whitfields, your Lockie Ash, Tom Green, Finn Callahan's been really good as well. No Tom Green this week, though. So if you needed to pick one or two to upgrade to from the GWS side, who would you be picking? Is it Tom Green for you?
Tom Green, or you can't go past Whitfield's value. I'm just having a look over here. He's 478K. Like, that's ridiculous value for a bloke who we know can pump out hundreds. They've got this game. Dogs aren't really big tagging kind of team. They'll probably try to close space with numbers more than tag. So that's this week. North next week, they don't tag. Gold Coast never tag halfbacks. Saints might in the last game, but there's 3 of 4 good matchups. I reckon he's the one. I noticed in our experts chat in our Patreon today, the great man Doc Insight, he's having a massive year. He's up at the pointy end, and he used his second last trade
now.
Yeah, he's his second last trade to bring Whitfield in. So I think that's as good a steer as any for me.
Yeah. You look at both these sides, Hurls and Melbourne, West Coast, Freo, fairly favourable when you're talking midfielders. For the Western Bulldogs, Melbourne don't really tag. West Coast definitely don't. And then Freo in the last game, they won't tag. And then you look at the Giants, North Melbourne, they should hammer them. Gold Coast away, they don't tag. Saints have got Windhager, but he's sort of changed into, your half forward sort of role, and he's actually been quite good, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So, for both these teams, I think these are the 2 teams that I would feel comfortable recommending to our viewers and our subscribers to go, well, you could pick a real pod here, like your Finn Callahan or someone like that, and feel fairly comfortable that they're going to, bring you success, because you look at the run home and there's nothing there that screams, oh, fuck, something might go wrong here.
Nah, probably. I mean, this week's the one I think that might be the hardest for GWS because the dogs will press up. So I think, and the Dogs have a great record against GWS. Like I happen to rate GWS higher in my opinion on the teams, but they seem to be a good matchup for the Dogs. They're a brilliant clearance team. So despite Tom Green being good at clearances, GWS as a team aren't great at clearances. And so if they can get the ball in their front half, they'll squeeze the ground. And that might be a bit of a problem for GWS this week. But for the rest of the run home, I don't see it being a big issue. So anyone who wants to go to anyone that you mentioned, like a Callahan, a Tom Green, for the opposition, for your Daily Bale, as we say, or any of those, I think there's plenty of scope to do that.
I don't really see many tags or any tags. Or there might be the one, Toby Bedford might go to someone.
Maybe Bedford to Richards, maybe.
But
again, it hasn't been an every week kind of occurrence for GWS. No. It'd be interesting because they've got three important outs this week. So Toby Green out, Buckley out, and Callie out. Does that mean they do revert to trying to take one weapon away from the opposition? So maybe Bedford does go to a Richards. But I think that's probably the main one that they'll probably attempt potentially.
Yep. I can see this being a bit of a back and forth affair with both teams loving to get pace on the ball and use the ball really well and get quick inside forward 50 entries. With that being said, that can lead to good SuperCoach scoring. Are there any VC options that you're looking for in this game?
Only because there's better elsewhere. No, but that I wouldn't talk anyone. I mean, how can you talk anyone out of Bonds or these kind of players as a VC? If you want to go that way, I think that's okay. I just think when we get to a few of the other games, there are some really juicy ruckmen that are going to probably command the VC this week. But yeah, you're not going to talk anyone out of a Bontempelli, are you?
No, you're not. No, and I think that's where my VC again this week will be firmly planted. Last week, really good. And I thought I was flying, mate, with a 2.675, but I ended up with red arrows.
Yeah, I had red arrows with a 2.690 as well. It was just a ridiculous week. I think I saw the stat. It's the highest total scoring week ever in SuperCoach history, even though the top score isn't the highest ever. I think that it was about 11 points short of the best ever score. I think there's been a 3,038 might be the record, and this week's was 3,023 or something around that. But as an aggregate, like with all, if you counted all the scores and where they went to, this last week was the highest ever.
Yep. Before we get off this game, we are going to have an ad read, but it's going to be done by the great man, the person who people froth at on the Insight channel. It's Squiddy. Hey, mate.
G'day, Horse. G'day, Hurls. How are we, boys? It's good to be here. I apologise for being a little bit late. Fatherly duties called. But, you know, I'm here now and I'm still going to clock in for a whole night's work.
And I'm going to let you do the read for Ryan from Astute Newstead.
Well, obviously, we must be talking about the GWS game because it's brought to you by Lockie Whitfield, Winnie Blues, Ryan from Astute Newstead. And I don't know how to do the whole thing, but you know what? If you need to get home loans and stuff like that, you call Ryan. All of his stuff's in the link in the description. He's a great man. He's worked with all of us. He's a great man that supports us, so we should support him. So you know what to do. Links in the description. Make sure you get onto Ryan for Astute Newstead for all your home loan needs.
Couldn't have said it better myself, brother.
Good to see you, Squiddy. Don't you love that hot potato? Here, do a promo. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, look, hey, I was probably still a little bit, the blood's still not all into my head after what Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller did on the weekend. So I'm still just a little bit, you know, the blood's still elsewhere. So, but, you know, I'm getting there. Warming up.
Understandable.
I'm tipping the dogs in this one, lads, for you guys.
With the Giants out, I'm going with the dogs as well.
I'm going the Giants. I think they get it done and end the Bulldog season. Maybe it's wishful thinking because I don't really like the Dogs, but we'll see.
You don't like a lot of people.
I know.
I know. Let's go to the next game, Hurls.
Not denying that, Squiddy.
Adelaide versus Hawthorn on the 1st of August at Adelaide Oval. I think this one is actually going to be a cracking game. Potentially winner takes a top 4 box seat type of scenario, but you have a look at the Hawthorn run home, Hurls, and they've got Adelaide away, Collingwood at home, Brisbane away, and Melbourne at home. They could lose 3 of those 4, and with how tight it is in the top 4 down to 10 or top 3 down to 10, they could nearly see themselves on the outside looking in as we see the Doc get around the Hawks. Piss off with that positive attitude about the Hawk, mate.
Let's peg that back a bit because I think you're right, Horse. I think they are the ones that they could finish anywhere. They're probably the biggest range. They could finish anywhere from second if they just win every game, or they could drop 3 and miss the 8. So they're the biggest variable, I reckon, out of these teams, and it all starts for them on Friday night in what looks to be. If the other game on Thursday night might be a high-scoring game, this one might be a bit defensive. I think neither team really love conceding a lot. So even though Adelaide can be high-scoring, both of these are pretty good defensively. So it might be an interesting battle, this one. And I don't know what the weather's doing in Adelaide. Hopefully it's better than it was last week where it absolutely pissed down for the whole game. It's going to be a cracker.
Well, weather is going to be an issue this weekend, but not for this game. I don't want to wreck the Sydney Essendon game later, but there's 40 mil expected on Saturday afternoon in Sydney. So hopefully that'll keep the scores relatively close and we'll only lose by 150. But Squid, If coaches or super coaches had 1 to 2 trades left, which for us is not realistic given that we've already burnt them, are there any players on Adelaide's or Hawthorn's side that you'd be interested in?
That's a tough. Also, just quickly, I don't think the weather's going to ruin the Essendon Sydney game, mate. I'm pretty sure Essendon are going to do a pretty good job of that. But no, I don't think that. I mean, look, you could really look at Adelaide like being a high scoring, kind of high octane offensive team, but obviously very well defensively structured as well. I don't know if you can be super confident in their super coach players to be able to generate massive scores, or who the one player is. Like we've seen Alex Neil-Bullen be really good the past couple of weeks, but Keys was really good weeks prior to that. We've seen Rankin. Like there's a lot of guys that are up and down in that kind of situation. Like, so I don't think I could be confident to circle one of them. And then for the Hawks, it's just whatever. I was a big Dylan Moore man last year, but I just can't do it. And if you'd pick Newcomb, you're an idiot. That's all I'm going to say about that. But congrats on him for 6 years. That's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What do you think about Will Day, Hurls? Do you think it's too early to go Will Day? We see that our man, the Doc, has to reverse his Whitfield trade because Chera is out with the knee this week. Is Will Day someone that you could potentially look at, or do you think he's still a bit underdone?
Nah, don't do it. Don't do it. It's one of those ones where, and we've seen this with Will Day. He can get 160, but he can also get a 70. Like, don't put the faith into there. I don't reckon. If I could. And Doc, you're astute. I'm sure you're going to be looking at all the different permutations here and stuff. If you can still get Whitfield, I would. I don't know if you can wrangle a defender into your midfield. If you're going to take Chera out instead of Rosie, maybe you still bring Whitfield in and just slot a Rosie into your midfield or something. That's the way I'd go.
100%. Love it. Underperformers from each side. If you've got the likes of Newcomb and you've got trades, I think you need to say sayonara. And if you hadn't already, then I guess a little bit of it's on you, the super coacher. But he's been a little bit inconsistent this year. And I think we can all agree that he's a much better performer when we're talking super coach Squid, when he's got Will Day beside him.
Yep.
Last week he was subbed out. So it's really not here nor there. But moving forward, if he's got Will Day beside him, he is a lot more consistent, but it's been a bit of a roller coaster with Jai Newcomb this year.
Yeah, big time. And it's always been a bit of a roller coaster with Jai Newcomb from a Supercoach standpoint. I mean, look, maybe it's a pod. Maybe you could try and have a crack on it, but the run is a bit rough. I mean, look, sideways thinking maybe it can pay off, but I wouldn't be. That wouldn't be something that I'd be betting on.
Yeah, for sure.
I love a punt.
Is Soligo, the slug, going to go to anyone?
He's been winning the footy, hasn't he, the last few weeks? I think
he has been.
I think they'll probably just back themselves. Pete Ling might put a little bit of pressure on someone around stoppages, and Nash might put a little bit of pressure around on Dawson around stoppages. But I don't think it'll be hard tagging. It'll be more just at the clearances, try not to let them run free, that kind of thing.
Agreed.
Yep. Mate, if I had to pick someone to bring in, I'd bring in Jordan Dawson. Just had a look at what you've put on down there, and that they've got the Hock at home. No Finn McGuinness. We know he had that terrible injury last week and spent a bit of time in hospital. But you've got Hawthorn, so they're not going to tag him. And then you've got West Coast away. No real matchup there. Collingwood, he always performs against Collingwood. And then he's got North to finish the year, and North don't have anyone to go with him either.
It's a fair shout. I think the other... Sorry, Squid?
No, I was going to say I've had Dawson all year, so nothing really changes. I love him. He's such a jet.
Yeah. The other one that you might consider not dumping, because I think when I think underperformers, the first man I go to is Rankin's been pretty poor, and maybe you could get rid of him. But with that fixture, I'd be inclined to just not punt him and go somewhere else.
Any VC options for the lads?
No.
Nah, me either.
No, I consider Jordan Dawson, but his record against Hawks not that great. I'm probably going to have a spot of Marcus Bontempelli, but I don't feel confident enough to choose Dawson.
No, I'm pretty happy with my Bontempelli at Marvel. No weather affected against GWS on Thursday night. Adelaide for me, lads, as we move into the next game.
Crom strong at home.
They're on a wave. I'll go Adelaide too.
Aren't they? And a game that we sort of have to talk about, Melbourne versus West Coast at Marvel. I've actually got some stats that back up that Flynn's been a bit better over the last 3 weeks, Hurls.
Go on.
Yeah, well.
He hasn't allowed an opposition ruckman to go over 110 for the past 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, who's he had though? Nank. Who did they play last week? West Coast. Yeah, Richmond 2 weeks ago. Last week was.
Who did they get belted by? Oh, Freo. It was a derby.
Yep, Freo. Yeah, and they split the ruck a bit, so you're probably never going to have too much from Darcy. I don't know. I think if he's ever going to get absolutely obliterated, it's going to be Max Gawn, isn't it?
Richmond. Yeah, and then before that they had
against Marvel.
Port Adelaide. Jordan Sweet scored in the 90s. Kieran Briggs was the last one that went big against him, 140 in round 17.
Yeah. I think Maxi will. I think Maxi's the man. Maxi's the VC man this week, I reckon, for many.
Good call. At Marvel too, no weather confected, so it's good.
Is this the only player that we're looking at bringing in, Squid, or do we still have some sort of faith in your Petrakas and your Cozzy Pickett's and the likes?
If there's ever a game that Petrarca and especially Cozzy Pickett will get up for, it's this one. I was thinking about Petrarca for VC or C this week, but then also too, I just can't trust him that much. But if there's ever going to be a game, it's this one. Cozzy could genuinely take the piss here, though. But Eagles haven't been a disgrace at Marvel this year. We saw what they did against Collingwood. So definitely could be. Look, if the Eagles are going to win their second game this year, it's this one because they got no chance against Adelaide, Dogs, or Sydney. So this is going to be the one that they're going to have to circle and be like, all right, let's give it a crack.
Yeah.
But this is equally, it's Melbourne's last chance, isn't it? Really, they're not beating Bulldogs, Hawthorn, or Collingwood either. So the winner of this gets one last win to pat themselves on the back for the year, and then it sees it over for both of them. I reckon
it's almost like the winner. Not so much for Melbourne, but if West Coast win this, they're going to get. It probably does more harm than good for their priority selection from the AFL. So while I think they could be okay against Melbourne here, as an Essendon supporter, I'm doing backflips. I want Melbourne to lose every game from here on in. So
I think this is the type of game as well that if Eagles can come out and win it, it's the type that shows Harley as well, like, hey, we're going in the right direction. We've got stuff that we can do.
100%. Underperformers for both teams. So is it time, Hurls, that you look at your McCarthy and go, well, I could spend 100K here and go up to Jeremy Cameron, who has a really good run home, or
oh my God,
look at someone else like that?
It's an interesting one. I think it's very team dependent. So I think the beauty of McCarthy is he's scoring 90s, which is really hurting those who went to a 23rd primo. So
Pistols in the chat. Pistols in the chat. He's probably got his AirPods in.
This could be interesting. Those that went the 23rd primo, they haven't been able to get the real benefit against those that went 22 and McCarthy because McCarthy's been scoring so well. I guess then there's the question, like you say, do you bite the bullet and say, stuff it, I'm going to get off McCarthy for a Cameron or something? To be completely honest, this is a bit lateral and I haven't put a lot of thought into this. I'd be more inclined to keep McCarthy and jump off Caleb Daniel for Jeremy Cameron.
Good shout. You're a North Melbourne man.
Carry on. Next question.
Would you get rid of Caleb Daniel?
I mean, every single time Hurls has been like, okay, I'm getting off Caleb Daniel. Caleb Daniel's come out and scored 110.
You're right. That is true.
So he's always bit him in the ass. But when it starts to drive, I would have been a bit more inclined to say that if we had someone that was able to play Caleb Daniel's position. But since Goda's now injured, George is still a bit underdone, Archer's injured, and the other guy's injured, I would not be as inclined to drop Daniel. I think he'll just play out the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Cool.
VC loops, we've just spoken about it. It's either Max Gorn or no one.
Big Max. Hey.
If you had Cozzy, I might have a sniff on Cozzy if you had him. I reckon he'll go large.
And so, just a like little side note to the VC, because if you're like me, you're probably targeting a GC bloke for your captain playing in the next game. Mm-hmm. But there's, that's 120 Marvel, 410. So you just got to be on the ball. Yeah. You'll get to see Max's whole score, but don't just be blasé, forget about it. If you want to go Maxi into, say, a Raul or a Nando's, which is going to be pretty popular this week, I reckon, just make sure you're looking at the app around the end of the Melbourne game so you don't miss out fixing up your VC.
Yep. Let's move on to tips. For me, I'm going to go West Coast.
I think Melbourne.
Yeah, sorry, Hurls. I keep forgetting that you're second in line. I'm not used to this.
It's all good.
I apologise. I'm going the D's, but I think Eagles can have a bit of a sniff.
Yeah, I think Melbourne, this is their game.
Gold Coast versus Richmond at People's First Stadium. And as much as I love saying this bloke's name, Squid, you here? Do the honours, please.
Matt Rao.
Has been unbelievable this year. He had a bit of a lull in rounds 5 through to 8, but has absolutely popped off, and signing that new contract has really got him up and going. And against a Tigers midfield, potentially again without Taranto, he's got a bit of a niggly calf. So for those that went on him as a bit of a cheaper option, just keep your eyes out for that one. But I think Matt Rao could go absolutely fucking ballistic this weekend alongside Nando's. And quote me, but I reckon they could easily have 70 touches between them.
I like it.
Yeah, why not? Is there weather around? If it's the only thing that's the only thing that I know Sydney's going to be flooded, but is Gold Coast as well? If it is, that's the only thing that puts me off a little bit. Not that they played really well last week against Brisbane in the wet, but I would be just a little bit less.
Wouldn't you feel a bit more confident if it was wet with the way that Mario plays? Because
for Rao,
not so much Nando's, but for Rao, I don't mind a bit of weather for Matt Rao.
Yeah, I think that's a fair shout. I think that's a good shout. Here's a question I was posed earlier in the week, lads, and it's really interesting one. Someone was trying to target Grundy for their league finals, which I think is really smart play. The way they were thinking about getting there, and I can't remember who it was in our Patreon, but whoever it was who's listening will probably jump into the chat here. They were going to downgrade someone like Zorko to Alex Davies. What are your thoughts on that kind of play? If it can get you sort of a Grundy, because Davies went 130, I think, last week, but he's still only a rookie. Like, do you worry that he won't last the 4 rounds when Took's back and that kind of stuff? Or
Took is now Took's a test for this week. So if you're bringing him in, it is potentially only for this week.
Yeah.
No rain. Oh, very minimal rain in this one too, lads.
Yeah, lovely.
Good.
I know. I was on the side last week. I had someone ask me, one of the boys asked me, who would you bring in this week? And I said, I'd actually be looking at Davies from Gold Coast. That made me look like an absolute genius. And then I saw that Took might be back this week or next. And I went, ooh, it's not as good now, but Davies is still 300k, so there is a bit, there is a bit going. But if he's in, he'll score well.
100% he will.
Just if Took keeps him in the side or not.
Likely that there's not going to be any tags in this game, but we've got Pistol asking to get on the live.
I'm looking at all the things. This is going to be interesting.
You know what? He's such a gentleman. I actually really like Pistol. But when we're talking Gold Coast and Richmond, when we're VC loops, there's only really 2 that stick out to me, and it's Nando's and your man Squid. Yeah, they're the 2 for me. And Gold Coast by another 10 goals this week. They're hitting form.
Yeah, Gold Coast pretty easily, especially at People's First. Sorry, Pistol, but you're going to get you're going to get dog walk this week, unfortunately.
Hey, before we move on to the next game, Hurls, I want to ask you, John Noble. They've got Carlton away after this one, so Richmond aren't going to tag. Carlton aren't going to tag him across halfback. GWS is the hardest run of the lot, but then they've got Port Adelaide. People need to be aware that Essendon game right at the end will not count for SuperCoach. So please don't get sucked into that.
Mm-hmm. Agree. So, yeah, the Essendon game is happening, but it's not a SuperCoach relevant game at all. So forget that one.
Let's move on to the next game, mate.
And something else to just be careful of, our man Jasper said this in chat, 100% correct. If you are thinking captain in this game or Grundy, for some strange reason, these two games are 5 minutes apart. So the double header on Saturday is 4:10 and 4:15, not 7:30 and 7:40. So there's only one night game and there's two games at that twilight spot.
Mm. And you know what? Fair. Yeah. I mean, these are two shit games, and you pair it, and you just have everyone watching Collingwood Brisbane. Fine.
Yeah, agree.
Yep, go and do something else between 4:15 and 7:30 on Saturday, Arvo, because I'll be struggling to watch this one too as an Essendon man. But Sydney versus Essendon, it is going to be moist. I don't like Brodie Grundy if it's going to be raining, though, Hurls, and for the simple fact that Todd Goldstein is very smart with how he positions his body. He's not overly athletic, but if it's going to be a grind, he's just going to put his body there, drop the ball at his feet, or just at least make it a contest. And it's going to be hard for Brodie Grundy to get those touches around the ground.
It will, but I think he'll make up for that with tackles and clearances. So I think he'll be okay. But I understand that if people want to go some safer, like I'm not anticipating having to use the C this week. I can't see Max Gawn going below 140. So I think it will be a no-brainer. I don't have Grundy anyway, but I think it's a fair question you're posing. Could it be that the weather prevents him from getting 25 and it means maybe he gets 110 instead of 160? I think that's fair kind of question to ask.
Yep, I think so. Is there anyone that you're targeting from either side? So you look at your Gouldens, you've got Heaney, you've got Grundy. These are the types of games that Warner pops off on. But we see there for Sydney, they've got Brisbane at Brisbane, Geelong at home. That's a fairly tough run in the next couple of weeks, barring this week against Essendon. I'm not so sure that I'd be buying stock in Sydney right now.
No, not with my last trade in. I think there's better options. I think there's some better fixtures out there. We've seen a couple already. The Saints haven't been up yet. They've got a great fixture as well. I think, if you're playing a draft style game or whatever and you're trading in just for this week, then go your hardest for the Sydney Blokes because they'll go nuts. But yeah, I don't love their matchups against Brisbane and Geelong to come. So I wouldn't be loading up on them.
Pistol, I see you're in the chat. Put in what rank you are overall, please. I think it was like 300th overall or 340th overall. So when they say good things don't happen to bad people, well, good things are happening to Pistol. So
bullshit.
Squid, we're just talking about Sydney and their run after Essendon. They've got Brisbane, Geelong. That doesn't really fill you full of confidence that you're going to get high scoring games. Maybe Grundy because of, Brisbane and Geelong and West Coast don't really have a ruck. So Grundy's your obvious number one, but Brisbane away from home can be tricky. Geelong can be tricky as well. So
it will be hard, especially now that the Swans are mathematically out of the finals. So they might take the foot off the pedal a little bit. I think Grundy still has ways to go with going for the All-Australian nod where Sherry's still suspended and he's pretty much I'd probably give it to Grundy right now ahead if they do the two ruck bit. But again, they don't normally do two ruck All-Australian. So for him to cement his spot in that team, because we saw how good Sherry was last year, for Grundy to be able to get into that team, he needs to be exceptional and he needs a good last 4 weeks to carry on the momentum that he's currently doing. So I think he'll be gunning for that. So I think Grundy will be okay. If you have Warner, if you have Heaney, I think it may be a little bit up and down, especially against Brisbane and Geelong if they're playing for ladder positions coming into finals.
Good. There's not going to be any tags in this one. So when we're talking captaincy, is it just Grundy?
There'll be a tag. Jordan will go to Merritt for sure.
Yeah,
I think he can't.
He will.
I want Essendon to kick a goal.
Well, you got to remember, Hurls. So this year, everyone's been saying, "Oh, Jordan," but Dean Cox has actually told Jordan to drop a tag when they're actually up enough amount of points, and Jordan's been more of an attacking type forward rather than actually full on tag. So if the Swans get out a bit, they may just drop it, and Merritt can, have his 33 on 60% disposal efficiency and only get us an 88 again. So that'd be great.
Yeah, I can't see it. I think he'll tag him. I think he'll just take him out of the game. And I think Guelphy will attempt to tag someone, and very poorly as well. Great shout out to our 14th debutant though, Horse. It's been a shit year for Essendon.
Jaden Nugent.
Jaden Ewan's going to make his debut, so
history.
That's 14. And history. And some people, interestingly, we normally wouldn't say anything about a Supercoach relevance for a 14th debutant in a shit team like Essendon, but I know a lot of people who bought him in as their like sort of loophole upgrade or loophole downgrade. I mean, bringing in a 99k bloke that had defensive mid. So some people are going to get the luxury of him playing a game. So that was just something they wouldn't have been expecting. But anyway,
that's really annoying as well, because I had the choice between him or the guy from Melbourne. I don't know who it is, but I thought I had too many Essendon players in my team, and I said, "Nah, fuck it, I'm choosing the Melbourne guy." Egg on my face. God damn it.
There you go.
Jaden Nugent, the first Vietnamese-born footballer in the AFL as well.
Oh, good on him.
To play an AFL game. So good luck to the young man, but it'll be Sydney by, if it's piss and rain and that, probably still be 10 goals.
Now, Horse, I've just got to ask the question for myself and everyone in chat that is uneducated. You said he's the first Vietnamese-born player in the AFL?
That's right.
What is Ling Jong?
I don't know.
Sweet, no worries. For some reason I thought it was
Google
Vietnamese.
No, I don't think it is.
I thought that name as well, but maybe he was born in Australia. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe his parents were born in Vietnam.
All right, let's cut and edit that out, and let's carry on to the next game.
Absolutely. So, who are we tipping in this one, Squid? It's going to be a great
Swans.
Lin John is Taiwanese.
Taiwanese. There
Excellent. And that is all I will be saying about that. I'm tipping the Swans.
The Swans.
Let's go to the next game.
Let's go.
Yeah.
The Saturday night game, which will be a good game, because it's got a lot riding on it now. A heap
Big
riding
time.
on this game.
Big time.
Absolutely. So we see Collingwood versus Richmond at the MCG, 7:35. The winner is chasing a top 2 spot. The loser, after Collingwood being up 2 games clear on top, could potentially drop out of the top 4 if they lose here. So there's a bit going on with this one. Who are the players that super coaches should be targeting, Hurls? We'll start with you and from Brisbane. Are you still looking at your Dunkleys, Will Ashcroft, even McCluggage? Zorko's got a sore foot, so you steer clear.
Yeah, not really. Not with that run. I think Brisbane haven't been spoken about as having a tough run, but if you look at that, they've got 3 of the contenders in Sydney, who are the only team outside of the contenders who have got any ability. So I think I would be avoiding them. And in fact, I'd be putting one of those guys you mentioned in the anti-pod. If you can get rid of Zorko, I think you should, because his foot is, he said himself, it was a bit painful last week. And I think they'll keep playing because they have to keep playing him, because you can't heal from what he's got, but they'll manage him if they can. So I think if you could get off Zorko, I would highly recommend it.
For sure. What about for Collingwood, Squid?
Yeah, look, it's Nick Dacos and that's it. And as we've always said, it's Nick Dacos and that's that. I mean, if you want to be very, very sideways and bank on Josh Dacos having 4 good games in a row, I can't. But again, it's just Nick Dacos. And that's that. I don't even feel confident about Darcy Cameron if you're thinking of going that way instead of someone like Grundy if you don't have the cash to get him, because Lloyd Meek is a tough matchup. Riley O'Brien's one of the better defensive rucks, and then you finish with Max Gawn. So I just can't get around it. Anyone else besides Dacos?
Yeah. Pretty much bang on. Are there any... What about Darcy Cameron?
I just said that.
Sorry, not Darcy Cameron. Is there anyone else from Collingwood where you could be like, oh, maybe like that's a relatively tough run home with Hawthorn, Adelaide away, Melbourne to finish the year, not too bad, but it's fairly tough for Collingwood.
Yeah. The one who some people have as a bit of a unique, who in two of those games is going to be really favoured, including this one. I think Josh Dacos, Brisbane gave up a ton of points to the Gold Coast halfbacks last week, and Melbourne historically give up a ton to halfbacks. So in those two games, I think you'll be right. But the Hawthorn Adelaide games do worry me a little bit. So it's probably going to be a bit of a mixed bag for Josh Dacos owners on the run home.
Agreed.
Yeah, Josh Dacos. That's a good one as well. Like that. Any tags?
Collingwood don't tag. That's for certain. It's a game where, the Brisbane mids could generally do some damage. Berry would be the only tagger for the Lions, but he historically hasn't done much this season. So I think it'll be just head to head.
Tend to agree. They'll put time into Dacos, but it won't be a one man. Dunkley might put some time around stoppages and stuff. I don't think it'll be a chase him around everywhere kind of tag.
Yep. Any VC loops? Or we're starting to probably look at captaincy options now, given that, your Bontempellis and your Gawns and the likes and Grundy have already played by this stage. Is it a Dacos or?
Nah, I'm not in this one.
Not for me. I am with Pistol, and I think the Brisbane Bears will win this one.
Brisbane Bears, my goodness.
Yeah.
Pies have to get it done. They've been going okay, but losing a few games. They can't afford to lose top two from the season they've had. So this one they just have to win, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm with Hurls on that one, even though he's only saying that because of his better half. But yeah, I do agree that Collingwood have to win this game. If the league lets Adelaide finish first, oh boy, that is dangerous for people in finals have to go to Adelaide to play them because, that could be a bit.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm getting accused from bias of picking Collingwood as if I would care if my missus barracks for Collingwood. I actually enjoy going against people who like other teams.
I love our chat. I love it. It's just like, if Hills doesn't say this, he's not getting a root for a week. So big time. I love
it. Sunday horse.
Yes. Squid, take it away. Your boys.
I just don't like what Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller is going to do to us in this game. He is going. If he had 34-4 against the D's, he's going to have 60-8 against us. This is going to be very, very woeful. But again, probably one of North's last chances to win a game this year, so they better actually try and play. Just need to see some effort from them. If the effort comes, we'll be able to see a bit more out of Sheasel and the like. I think the main thing I'm hoping from this game is that Boyd plays from St Kilda, but I'd highly doubt that's going to play. But I would, I'd say if you like, Nas has just been on fire this game, and I think this is a game where Jack McRae could really bounce back, and Rowan Marshall could do some damage.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Horse is all over it. He kindly took all of my St Kilda players off me in our keeper league on in a big mega trade last night, trying to get over the line. I think Rowan Marshall will go massive for Horse. So
it's I had to sell off what Nick Madden, who was my long-term ruck project that I wanted to hold on to with Nan Curtis, and the fridge. Had to get rid of the fridge as well. So selling the farm in order for this year's success. But St Kilda with that run home, Richmond, Essendon, GWS is tough. But when you're looking at rucks, when you're looking at midfielders, it's really good for St Kilda players here. If you don't have Jack Martin, or if you traded out Jack Martin, Hurls, are you looking at Jack McRae, sorry. Are you looking to bring him back in?
It's something about last week said to me, like, he's been really good for the last 3 weeks and they've got a great run. So I think he's a good pick. The only little caveat to that is, in the last quarter, they did play Max Hall in the middle a lot, and Jack McRae was the one they took out of the middle. So as long as that doesn't hold for full games and it's one quarter at a time, I think Jack McRae will be fine. But there is just that little watch, and it's all teams in this position, right? They start experimenting, they start doing different things. I think McRae will be fine with those matchups. But maybe they just put a bit more time into a Max Hall in the middle. Maybe they put a bit more of I don't know, who else could they try in there? Maybe Hunter Clark or some blokes like that, potentially.
The thing about that is that Max Hall played in the middle in the last quarter, and that's when it really worked well. And he also had about, I think, 6 score involvements and 4 clearances. So
he was brilliant.
Yep. So that could definitely do something.
I'll tell you what I'm looking at with this, Squid. So your mob, like obviously for Essendon, it's all been about draft picks for the last 12 weeks. Yep. North play all the teams that we want to see different results from. So I either want you to win this game and beat Richmond so that you jump us, or lose this game so St Kilda win and then Richmond beat you so they jump us. So I don't know who I'm going for in the North games yet. Each week will determine whether I jump on the bandwagon or off the bandwagon, though.
Yeah, I'm still convinced North aren't going for North after seeing how they've been playing the last couple of weeks, because it's been an effort thing, and that's all it's been. It's 1-2 kicks. If it's not Colby McKercher, it is going long down the line and to tall players that we don't have. So, yeah. I'm worried. Jack Steele could really get off the chain here in this game too, because we don't have anyone strong enough to tackle him.
So what are you thinking margin-wise?
I think North win. Saying all that.
Only 80, though. All those things aside, only by 80.
I'm going to have hope. I'm going to have faith that they're going to come out and try and win this game. I have hope that St Kilda don't have a very strong, physical list. So I feel like we might be able to actually get them there. I think it's going to be a great game for Colby McKercher for people that still have him. Saints don't really have that run with forward that's going to be able to keep up with Colby. Marvel Stadium, so no weather affected, but I still think Rowan Marshall's going to have a field day with how many times North just kick it long down the line to a pack that no one wants to fly for. So I think, there's going to be a bit going on there. But I've got to have faith. I've got to have faith, don't I?
You do.
As an Essendon supporter, yes, you've got to have faith.
You do. I'm going Saints, but this is one of those games that Saints supporters will know this better than me. They've come off this massive high last week, beating Melbourne from 46 points down at three-quarter time, etc. This could be the one where they just come crashing back down to earth in a real hurry. I would love Sherry to have been there, though, for I think that to happen. I think it's going to be hard without Sherry. But if he was playing, I probably might have been inclined to think North could do that. But probably Saints without
me. Sherry. Taylor Goad, for God's sake. I know he can't run out a whole game, but still, please, just give him a crack. Just give him a crack. Could be a good chance as well that Geordie Payne gets a game this week after kicking 4 in a half last week in the VFL. So good chance that he might get a run for his first game.
And surely just Comben back, Squid. Surely that's just the no-brainer, isn't it?
Please. Yeah. I mean, I know they did it because they don't have, we didn't have a tall forward besides Darling, and they want to have the 1-2, but I think Finbar can do it, and Darling as the 1-2. So, put Comben back.
Agree.
Have we had enough of this game?
Please.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Geelong versus, this is going to be another bloodbath too.
Oh, yeah.
How many Jazz are going to kick Hurls?
We probably should count how many Joe the Gooses he gets between now and the end of the year. He's just out of his 11 last week. I think there was 6. I'll put him down for 6 this week.
I like 8.
Don't ask how many he's going to get the week after the horse.
Yeah, geez, that could be an absolute rioting.
But on the verge as well. Oh my God, he's kicking 25.
When we're talking Bailey Smith, Max Holmes, if Bailey Smith's fit, which I believe he is, they're two that you're going to want to have in your sides. Jeremy Cameron, I think, is a nice pod play if you want to buck he's a key forward trend. But Rosie, so there's question marks around his fitness with that broken hand. So he had 1 week out, and Port Adelaide and Rosie have come out in the media and said that he will continue to play until his hand can't go anymore. But it lends himself open to discussion, Squid, that if they're getting pumped by 10 goals, does he just get subbed off to try and look after him?
I think there's a good chance of it. Why would you risk him if you're not making finals? Like, yeah, absolutely, that could be a chance. So it's definitely Rosie hand watch big time this week, and because I think Geelong could really open this game up big time, especially at Alphabet Stadium.
Yeah.
So we've spoken about Smith, we've spoken about Holmes, Jeremy Cameron, Brian Myers, Hurls.
I really like the Brian Myers pick. If you want to go a little bit left of centre, I reckon he's going to run amok here against Port. He's going to run amok against Essendon, Sydney, maybe not so much, but then he'll run amok again against Richmond. So he's a very, very good pick because he's different. I think the thing that's the worst about this game for SuperCoach is Sunday, Chris Scott, late change. It's just got late change written all over it, and people get sort of can't do anything about it. So if you can somehow manufacture Baz into a maybe midfield spot where you've got bench cover or something, I would highly recommend it because it's just got late change written all over this game.
Corey Blackledge brings up a good point in that they've shut down Bergman, so why don't they shut down Rosie if it starts turning to shit?
Yep. Yeah. The only reason I can think of is that he's the captain. So, obviously he's the one that's the driving force and the leader behind the team. So that's the only difference I can see between him and Bergman.
Tom Atkins, Mark O'Connor, Ocean Mullen. Which one of these players is going to Zach Butters?
Didn't Ocean go to him last time? O'Sheen, sorry.
I want to say he might have. Yeah, it sounds.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
How'd you go on him, Squid?
I'm pretty sure he did an okay job from last time. Let me just double check that for your horse.
I'll bring up the stats. He's 612k, break even of 148. Last time he only scored 53.
Who's that? Butters.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was him, Mullen, according to the legend Deadly in chat.
Yep. Only 20 disposals for Butters at piss poor efficiency because he was on his ass. Also, too, didn't drop the tag even though they won by 80 points. That is naughty. So hopefully he stays away from him this week.
That'd be interesting. Very interesting. No C options in this one, lads, or could you, if you wanted to go risky, Holmes, Jez Cameron?
Yeah, I was going to say if Baz is a laid out, I could look at Holmes. If not, I can't pick between the either or.
Yeah, Holmes would be the only one I would slightly entertain. I couldn't if you've got the luxury of bringing in Cameron, do it, but I still wouldn't captain him. Not this week. Like, you never know. Maybe he'll leave, stays near him for a bit, and he only kicks a few. So I wouldn't trust a key forward as a captain, but I wouldn't talk anyone out of bringing him in if they were going to go pottish.
For sure. Geelong by 10 goals for me in this one.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm with
Geelong by plenty. And that's the games, I think, fellas.
Oh, is that it, is it? There's no other games?
I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. No, there is one more. I lied.
You know what? Carlton's a part of this one, so we'll let you talk about this one, Hurls.
I'm really disappointed because the reports over here this week are that Saturday, Sunday is going to be very moist here as well in the West. And so I was hoping that I would get, a lot. You've had a long weekend of footy and races and that kind of stuff, and then you just sit down on the couch for the last game to watch Carlton get absolutely flogged. How good would that be? But the rain might just make it a little bit closer, unfortunately. But I think Freo still get it done easily.
Yeah, I think so. Now, with Chera being out,
Mhm.
I think Carlton are pretty close to just throwing in the towel for the year,
Mhm.
if they haven't already. But you've got Sarong, Brayshaw,
Mhm. Mhm.
Jackson.
Mhm.
Like it could, Jordan Clark could go really well off halfback too.
Mhm.
Like this could be a pretty nice Supercoach scoring game for the Freo lads, Squid.
Yeah, I agree. If there's any time that Chincotta's going to come out of tagging retirement, though, it would probably be this week against Caleb Sarong, because you know the stat, if Caleb Sarong is tagged, Freo lose majority of the time. If he's not tagged, they have not lost this season. So if you want to have a crack, Carlton, then they got to tag Caleb Sarong. I just don't know if they're going to do it, but either way, I don't know if I could be super comfortable with seeing a Freo player this week. I don't know why. I think it's a good shout. I just don't have that feeling. You know, I think that's the only way I can say it. But yeah, maybe Sarong gets tagged and then that blows up in someone's face. But Andy Brayshaw could have another great game as well, even if it is bad weather.
Yeah, I think it's a fair call. I don't think I'd trust anyone either, even though I wouldn't be surprised if they go 140s each and stuff like that. I still don't know that I'd trust it. And I think a great shout here, our man DJ78. Absolutely, I would bring Hayden Young in if I was looking to win a league with a bit of a pod or something like that. He is a very, very good footballer. We hope, as a Supercoach community, he has another poor game somewhere along the line, so his average doesn't get too high, and we can buy him next year. But I think that's wishful thinking more than what will happen. I reckon he's a gun.
Body's looking a lot better too, which is fantastic for him as well. Looking much better.
Yep.
Spot on. Anything else you'd like to add before we move on?
Nah, that's it.
Nah. Freo win though.
Freo win this one easily.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All about that.
Agree.
Cripper could be playing for his new team next year.
He could be. He's been a Perth boy. Quick one, Squid. Have you prepared anything for the cone of the week?
Mate, I never prepare. I just go off the dome. Don't you stress about that.
So are we right to go with it?
Oh, bloody oath. Just crack on.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Squiddy has returned to give us the best Supercoach Round 1 Finals edition of Cone of the Week.
Short and sharp this week, Horse and Hurls. But Jesus Christ. I mean, look, there's a few that need to have a little bit of a cone up them. I couldn't give it to all of North Melbourne. I don't know if you're just being good blokes, just letting Jezza do whatever, if you just didn't want to play, but you need to be better because that's effort. And that is a goddamn disgrace. The weakest piss be better there, North Melbourne. The whole playing list, that shithouse. I'm going to give one to Toby Green, right? Trying to mule kick Dane Rampy in the balls. Look, I'm all about dirty plays, but you don't hit another man in the giblets. That is a goddamn disgrace by Toby. So, Toby, and also, too, Tribunal, the amount of shit that we've rubbed players out for this season, and you said, oh, we can't rub him out because he didn't actually make direct contact with his nuts. That's still rape in my eyes. So I feel like that should be weeks. So, I mean, look, you're not allowed to hug someone. That's weeks. You're not allowed to run past the ball and hit someone. That's weeks. But you're allowed to kick someone in the nuts, supposedly. So I feel like the Tribunal, I feel like I've said this a lot this year, but weak as piss be better. And then the most obvious one in the world, Horse, Hurls, Melbourne Football Club. Melbourne Football Club. What the fuck are we doing? Okay, so you're telling me that you're going to drop 46 points and let St Kilda come back and win. It's not even a good team. It's St Kilda. Like, what are we doing here? They made Nasai Wanganeen-Miller look better than Gary Ablett Jr. Prime, which is unbelievable. He absolutely took the piss out of them. And then on the final play, you give up a 6-6-6, right? When it's game's tied, Wang's just took a fucking hanger on Pidgeotto, Bailey Fritsch, and he's just absolutely taken over. So what do you decide to do? You give up a 6-6-6 free kick. And then that's not even the thing that pisses me off. You've given up the free kick. St Kilda know they're getting the ball. You know St Kilda getting the ball. You still decide to have players in your forward line and in the midfield and you not just flood the back line? Like, are you dumb? Do you know how to play football? Goodwin's an idiot.
The whole team's an idiot. Jack Viney's an idiot for letting the guy that's just absolutely destroyed you for the last 25 minutes just walk into the 50. Why is Jake Bowie the only one near him when he's the shortest, rangerest player on the ground? Melbourne, you're a goddamn disgrace. You deserve to lose that. You deserve to be a part of history of being an absolute disgrace. Weak as piss, be better. That's all I have to say about that.
Wow. And that's your code of the week. I'll tell you what, though, for all of Melbourne's shittiness in being unable to close out a game that ends up being a record AFL VFL comeback from three-quarter time, Nozane Wanganeen-Malera is some player.
What is he
I'll tell you what. St Kilda should retract the money that they're offering TDK and give it all to Nozane Wanganeen-Malera. He deserves all of it. He's that good. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like how people are talking about him like he's better than Dacos after one game. You're like, oh, wow, just wow. But then again, 34-4 is pretty fucking good.
Pistol's got some feedback for your cone here, Squiddy.
What do you say?
Sorry, but they were not allowed to.
Allowed to what?
To go flood back because of the 666.
They already gave up the free kick. What are they going to do? Pay another free kick?
They had to go back to positions and stuff, but they still could have manned up on the only bloke that has any ability in the St Kilda side.
100%.
So why
Cone still stands?
So why was Nozane Wanganeen-Malera open? Like you're telling me that Jack Viney decided to stand on the wing for no goddamn reason? Who cares? You're giving up the free kick. Just stand next to him.
Do something.
Shithouse. Time management. It's awful. Also, too, I'm sorry, guys, but I got to go because the boy. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next week. Bet have a great rest of the stream.
Good on you, brother.
No problem.
Let's get into some questions, mate.
Let's do it.
It's question time. Let's answer your questions for the week ahead.
All right. Let's get started. DFAB. Bloody hell, we're treated this week for prime time games. Cannot wait. There is a couple of crackers on this week.
Absolutely. It's Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. Good footy, which is excellent.
Finally, they've decided to hide the Essendons and the North Melbournes of the world for 1 week anyway.
Yeah.
IJ, at Skull, did you see the 17-ball over from Johnny Hastings? South Africa needed 17 runs to win, and Johnny Hastings bowled 11 wides in an over.
Oh, nice. I didn't see that. That would have went down well.
Strommy, good to see you in the chat, mate. Skull, yep, he jumped in, mate. He was looking for you. Benny G, no trades left, but Horse has me scoring 2807 this week. Well done, mate. Congratulations. That is much better than Hurls and I.
I tell you what, that's a huge love. Just looking at my projection, and mine's usually about 200 less than everyone else. That's another 200 on top of that. So that's huge, Benny, if you can get 2,800 this week.
Bloody oath. The Doc, I'm looking to replace Chera. Been eyeing off Day. Don't know if I'm brave enough, but it could be the play. Not Day, I don't think.
Nah, just stick with Whitfield. Do what you were going to do. Just make it Chera instead of Rosie, if that's the play you have to go with if he's out.
Yep. Sydney weather's going to ruin Deadly's golf day, let alone the footy.
I don't know how many of the ones you pinned after this, but IJ then proceeded to say, let's play golf, Deadly, and I think he's going on a mini golf date, is the rumour.
Oh, jeez, unreal.
Deadly and IJ going on a mini golf date because it's raining too much.
Rookie, hey, mates. Evening, gents. Any further info on SC Finals, Hurls?
Yes, I believe it's happening. SC Finals is going to have its own game, so it will be set up a little bit like game day squad, for lack of a better comparison, where you pick from that first round of finals out of those 8 teams. You'll have a salary cap, and you'll be able to pick from all those teams. And then second week you pick from the 4 teams that are playing. Third week you pick from the 4 teams that are playing, etc. And your score will accumulate over the finals. I don't know if they've announced prizes or anything like that yet, but watch this space and we'll see what we're going to do with them.
For sure. Pistol, if you want a pod, Jeffrey from Gold Coast.
Joel Jeffrey, he loves a pod, Pistol. I don't mind that shout. Joel Jeffrey's playing well with no Rioli. He's got that halfback designated kicker role with Noble. So it's a good shout, Pistol. That's why you're up in the top 500, my friend.
For sure. Skull, I'd have Nass's babies.
Wow. Yeah. Why not?
Deadly. Hurls and I just made the trade of the century.
Oh, did we? Was that the one in keeper that I proposed earlier? I haven't looked. I offered, or Deadly offered, and then I counter offered, and it's round 3, 6, 7, and 8 draft picks for round 5, 6, 7, and 8 draft picks. So just buying Deadly's earlier pick selections in the last 3 rounds, if that's the one he's talking about, unless he's taken all my players and I don't know about it yet, which wouldn't surprise me either.
Jasper, Horse versus Corey, box office. He's got a very good team in our keeper league.
He has.
Had to make the moves this week to try and beat him.
And Corey, I have to say that I've given Horse the best possible chance he could to beat you with Rowan Marshall and these blokes. So let's see how that goes. And Horse did give me some nice young guns in return. So I did fleece him with Madden and Fraser. So the now for the future, I guess, was the trade that happened.
100%. Let's go through here. Caleb Daniel to Liam Baker. Is it an option?
I just don't want to bring in a West Coast bloke. I don't mind Baker, but I just don't want a bar of it. Not with 4 games to go in a team that has nothing to play for and wants to lose as many as they can by as big a margin as they can, probably to justify the priority pick they're going to ask for. I just don't want a bar of that. Yeah, we've already got the back flanker. That's enough. McCarthy will do out of West Coast.
Mate, 1 trade left. Trade out Rosie or Daniel if he's dropped. No spare change. Oh, it's tough.
I think teams have to dictate it. The trouble with that is I think they play Sunday, and that means you don't really get a good look until some of the ones you might go to have already played. So it is a hard one. I don't mind either of those 2 going out, but with 1 trade left, I would want to see if I could hold on for another week if they both played, for example.
For sure. Pistols ranked 599th at the moment.
He's on fire. He's not happy about not being able to get on the screen too, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I haven't sent him the link, though. I probably need to do that. Oi, Doc, you bloody legend. Get your hand off it. There's a few bit of fan mail for our man Doc in here. He's only playing with 21 this week too. That's unreal.
Yeah.
Hurls, are you coming down for our round 24 sesh at the footy?
I and the lovely will both be there for round 24. Yes. See you there, Skull.
How good's this? Matty Langley. Hey, mate. Great show as usual. Current rank 290th overall. Got a 2.881 last week. Huge score. Nice work. 3 trades left still. What you think, Daniel to Rowan Marshall this week or hold?
Oh, yes. Yeah. All day. Go
away.
for it. Yeah. If you've got 3 trades, that's a beautiful way to use one. You've still got 2 up your sleeve and you're maximising Rowan Marshall. And although I do agree with Squiddy, Daniel probably keeps playing because they've got no replacements. I don't know if he's going to be playing in that seagull role anymore. They just can't afford to have him down there. So I think Daniel to Marshall is a brilliant move.
This SuperCoach finals thing they're bringing in is pretty. I like it.
Well, it give us something to do, right, for the finals. Like everyone's finished, the season's over. BBL hasn't started yet. I mean, NFL will have started. We can go and have a look at NFL, but that doesn't play in the same time zone as us. So I think it's a good idea. Why not?
Stephen Sutter, thanks for joining us, mate. Chera to Sick Dog. James Sicily.
I don't mind that kind of play at this time of year. Like, it's just different, right? I wouldn't trust Sick Dog for a season or anything like that. But I think they've manufactured him again as the loose man. If you notice how Hawthorn are doing it, a lot of balls going through Sicily and Hardwick at the moment. So I don't mind that as a bit of a unique, poddish kind of play if you want something different.
For sure. Apparently, Pistol's trying to call me. Lucky I've got Do Not Disturb on.
We could have done a live call on air, Horse. That would have gone well.
No, I'd have to bleep out half the bloody conversation. He's ringing.
Yeah.
He's unreal. Anything else you'd like to go through, mate, before we knock off for the night?
I think that's all there is. This week's one of those ones where some people, like our last champions, got a few trades and is looking to take advantage and really maximise the weekend. Others are sitting like us with 0 trades and just praying that our team sticks together with sticky tape, because any laid outs, like a Baz laid out or something like that, means donuts. So we're hoping that we don't go through that, and hopefully everyone out there has a win on the weekend in their league finals. Unless you're playing one of us, then we hope you lose. But other than that, that's about it, mate.
We have got one more question in the chat, and it's from Matty Bartlett. He wants to know unders, overs, Dangerfield kebabs on the bench at 1.5 at the moment.
Safe at unders 0.5. There is no way they're letting him go with that again.
It won't happen again.
Not a good look. No. Not going to happen.
Hurls, where can the people at home find you, mate?
Get onto Twitter at Silvertop Hurls. Come and say g'day. Plenty happening with SuperCoach finals for the next 4 weeks, and then the SuperCoach finals comp. So Horse and I haven't spoken about this yet, but I dare say
we will be doing it.
Insight will be doing something. So look out for anything that we put out there around what that might look like. And I think the other thing is not just hitting me up, but hit the other boys up. Mav, hit DFAV up. NFL's about to kick off. Go and jump on that. It's a bloody cracking show they're putting together over there. If you want to hear everything about where you should be drafting each running back and wide receiver and tight end, get over there and start watching. You can't miss that if you want to be part of an NFL league. And equally, our man Deadly is putting his head together with the legend Josh SC Whisperer for EPL SuperCoach. So there's so much happening. I'm sure, Horse, you'll be back for BBL. It doesn't stop, and that's the beauty of Insight. We've got leagues going all year round.
Absolutely, mate. Spot on. This is Hurls on the Horse. You can find us on X, on Instagram, pretty much anywhere. If you want to chat to us, inside the Patreon's the best place you can get us. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's okay to not be okay, and it's not weak to speak. So speak up if you're feeling down. Our inboxes are open. The most important person in this world is you at home. So just remember, it's okay not to be okay, and it's not weak to speak. On the Horse, this is Hurls. We've had a fucking ball, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Deadly leading the show with our all-new Panic Room. We'll catch you then.